Launch. La la. La la. Was that working? Was the mics on before he even pressed the go live button, chat? Thankfully, Joe didn't say the sort of things he normally says.
Well, I was having a wee. They didn't have to.
Chat, we're talking about giving you an entrance, a wrestling style entrance music, Jay.
Obviously.
Yeah. Do you know what you'd like? What would your entrance style wrestling music be?
The best, in my opinion, wrestling entrance song is Metalingus, which was Edge's entrance.
You think you know me?
Yeah. But there was one year for WrestleMania where everyone who came to the stage had a Limp Bizkit song, which would also be great. And they were live.
Was that where the Undertaker's one started? With his motorbike? And rolling, wasn't it? Yeah.
Although, that's also great. Ric Flair's entrance music is also great.
Rick, you're not talking about ones that I thought were any good, I'll be honest. You're all talking about ones I thought were shit. Where's the missile pod?
You also had...
What's here?
Steve Austin's one was pretty good.
Was it? Which one? The Disturbed one or the one before that?
The one where it had like the glass break.
Yeah,
at the start.
he had a glass breaker a few, didn't he? But then there was a Disturbed version of his. Do you remember? I remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine Thursday afternoon for another Liam and Joe show. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash all those magical YouTube buttons first. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Smash subscribe if you haven't already. Blah, 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 blah. Good. Right. And it is a beautiful Thursday. Like, it's gorgeous outside, Joe. 17 degrees, the bike was saying it was when I rode over this morning.
Yeah?
Beautiful sunshine. I was too hot, if anything.
Yeah?
Yeah, in a hoodie and a leather jacket. So yet we're choosing to be indoors talking to you wonderful human beings. So, you know, if that isn't worth 5 gifted each, I don't know what it is. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you're having a great week. Hopefully you're looking forward to the weekend. Hopefully some of you are coming to Hobby House to do some hobbying at the weekend, to hang out, play some games. What the stream is about today is, I didn't even know this until Joe just told me, there was an Adepticon kind of announcement sort of skit thing they did yesterday.
Yeah? Yeah?
And apparently, according to Joe, the internet has gone mad at guessing what the fuck it all means, which I'm sure is exactly what Games Workshop wanted.
Well, they did it with the last one, didn't they? When they had like the staff, like the New Year, like staff party, and then they had all the hints in it, like you had to like guess. This one was a bit more on the nose. They just had
badges.
They just had badges all over
models
over Adam Troke. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jason, let's talk about it. So, a topic for Super Chats today, if you want to get involved, let us know if there's anything in that little skit or video that you think means we're definitely going to get something and what that thing is. Also, I want to know what you guys want to see, what you're hoping to see, what you expect to see. Like, he says the words Armageddon at one point and gets cut off. Now, that's the rumoured 11th edition box set.
But it's also the rumoured next book.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think the next book after the Iron Warriors one is Armageddon, which then leads into the Armageddon box set.
Okay.
But then there's also theories that orcs aren't in the new box set. The box set's not called Armageddon. And basically it's like misinformation put out by GW. So you've got the Armageddon book come in, and then the new launch box set's something different.
Do we think they're that advanced for their marketing? I'm not sure I think they're that advanced in their marketing.
But then it's Wazdacker. Eddie is painting a new bike model in Wazdacker red.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. And then like the models on the table are all orcs. There is a Sentinel on the table.
Oh. That's a big one though, right? It's a Joy Toy one.
There's lots of Joy Toys in the room. There's a Joy Toy Sentinel, a Space Wolves Contemptor Dreadnought, a Blood Angels Contemptor Dreadnought, and a Predator. I think it's a Bile Predator. Yeah. So, and on Adam's jacket, there's obviously the orc symbol on his back. Obviously, they've got there's the Titus helmet on the background, which is quite cool.
I didn't notice that.
There's a big Titus helmet.
I'm not very alert at the moment, Joe. Not very observant.
I think, like on Adam's jacket, there's like a Luminef symbol. There's Blood Angel symbols, Orc symbols, and there's 2 Guard Regiment symbols.
Is there?
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get a whole new regiment for 11th?
I think so. Looking at the symbol, it's either I think it's like Orc Hunters, which is a Catachan regiment. But it's basically the Catachan skull, and then it's got 2 like lasguns crossed with an eagle. One's like a normal lasgun, and one's like a snipe, like a long shot, like a sniper one, like a sniper variant. And Catachans had sniper variants. They actually had their own individual sniper squads.
Yeah,
which is really, really cool.
See, do you think Catachans are actually going to happen then?
I think it's Catachans. It says that there's also the potential for a Steel Legion badge as well. They have quite strong similarities. But I don't think we will get Steel Legion because they're too much like Krieg, and I think Catachan are so different to both Cadian and Krieg.
I'm inclined to agree with you on this. Yeah. To be fair. I think the problem with Steel Legion. So I think Steel Legion would sell. I do. I think people would be mad for Steel Legion. I just don't think it would sell as well as Catachan.
No.
I think more people would buy into Catachan than buy into Steel Legion. And I think you're right. Steel Legion is probably arguably a relatively easy conversion from Krieg models, whereas Catachan currently isn't an easy conversion. It's just horrible old kits.
Yeah.
So I think you're probably right, Joe. I think if we're going to see anything, I don't think it will be Steel Legion. I think Steel Legion is people like hoping. And I get the reference to Armageddon, and I get Yarrick returning, but even the video in which they bring him back in, there is no Steel Legion in it.
No.
So like that would have been an opportunity if they were bringing Steel Legion in to put them in that as well. They didn't. So I don't think Steel Legion is coming. I think that's a bit of hopefulness by some people. To be fair. I wonder if, I'm going to say this now, I'll probably get shot down by all nearly 200 people in chat. I often wonder if the launch box will be Space Marines.
That'll be Space Marines.
Has it ever not been Space Marines?
No. It's been Space Marines every single edition.
Do you think if they did Catachans versus Orcs, they'd get away with it?
No.
No?
No, because... The thing is, though, I was having a discussion last night, actually. Space Marines are Games Workshop. Games Workshop
they are.
Is Space Marines. No computer game has been more popular than Space Marine 2, which is about Space Marines. You play as Space Marines, right? Every computer game Games Workshop's really done has Space Marines in it. Dawn of War 1 through 3, the poster boys were the Blood Ravens. Kind of thing. I think Space Marines are such an easy sell, and they're so popular. Like even like going through the kind of like my social media stuff. If I put Space Marines up, I get likes. If I put anything that's not a Space Marine, not many likes.
Yeah.
Space Marines are just hyper popular.
They are. It would be a very, I think, bold and brave move to release a starter box that isn't Space Marines.
I think they're just too. I don't think it would sell as well. I think Games Workshop stopped doing those like FOMO dual boxes for factions where they had like a new character. When they had like Sisters versus Drakari and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They stopped doing those entirely. They've just gone away. But I think like you could probably get away with doing Orcs versus Catachans in that.
Dr. Turner, thank you for the 1 gifted membership. That's
Thank you.
on 1 gifted membership. Midlife War Games also became a Yalty member.
Lovely
before the
jubbly.
show even started. What a legend.
Thank you.
I'd love to know I'd love to know what you guys think, especially about the launch box, because I'm so torn, and I don't. there's stuff that's out there. There's people that are talking about what's rumoured and what's they've been told and what have you. And I haven't got a fucking clue because we're no longer a preview.
I know you say that you're bored of Space Marines.
No, I wouldn't say I'm bored of Space Marines. I don't think that's fair.
But the thing is, though, the people that say that, oh, I'm so sick of Space Marine releases, I'm bored of Space Marine releases, then they're actually just in the minority.
That's why. So I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm bored of Space Marines or sick of Space Marine releases. I don't think either of those things. But I do wonder if there is a feel from the community in general that they are a bit tired of Space Marine box sets and releases. And how many things can you refresh to bring out a new starter box with new models? So, and I think at the moment, at least, I think they maybe have enough stuff. New Vanguard vets, new bikes. They've maybe got enough stuff where they could potentially do a range refresh of certain units that Space Marines have, but they're almost running out of things to refresh.
So this edition, I think we're going to get a refresh of kits that need to be redone. So we'll get new Vanguard vets, maybe like a new version of like a tactical squad and Dev Marines, some bikes. The Dreadnought needs doing. Arguably the Rhino needs to be refreshed. I'd like to see the Rhino come back like properly, like a new version of like the Whirlwind. Because if you redo the Whirlwind, you have to redo all the Predators. If you redo the Rhino, you have to redo Predators, Vindicator.
Do you think there's a world where they remove the track tanks?
No, I think they keep them.
Do you think there's a world where they thought they were going to remove the track tanks?
I think they thought about removing them because that's why we've got the Gladiator,
the Impulsor,
and the Impulsor and stuff. I'd like to see a new version of the Landspeeder Storm, the Scout version.
Yeah.
Obviously, we need a multi-part kit of the Ballistus, but you could probably argue that you don't because it's such a basic model because it's literally just 2 guns. Maybe different weapon options for it. I think this edition we're gonna get things like character refreshes for people that either went away or are just still waiting for a new model. Like Asmodai never got a new kit, Pedro never got a new kit, kind of thing. And I think we'll start to see more Legion and chapter-specific squads to make the chapters feel more unique.
I think there's a thing that you've said a few times, which I relate back to, which I think is very accurate. And I think the success of the Night Lords kill team has told them people really want unique flavour. Yeah. And the Legions, the chapters in the Legions are important to people.
Well, we already know that there's an Iron Warriors upgrade kit coming.
Yeah.
Right? So I would imagine they'll do one for everyone. And we got a Ultramarines upgrade sprue recently.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Templars. So I imagine we'll get refresh versions of the other ones as well for everyone. And then maybe I like the idea that obviously we've got Victrix Honor Guard, so like a Salamander's Pyroclast unit, and like a Raven Guard Lightning Claw unit, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that will be the Space Marines for the next 3 years, basically.
Flavour. Be interesting. I'd be more interested, I guess. I'm always a lot more interested in here's this unique Dark Angels thing, or here's this unique Space Wolves thing than I am. Here's a generic unit of T-short launchers.
Well, the thing is, though, you need the generic units to go into the armies, right? Because Space Marines need, because you can't just have only chapter-specific units and then no cohesion between them, right? Because they're still Space Marines. They're still a standing, functioning army with shared attributes. So you still have to have your basic infantry and stuff. I feel like the T-shirt launchers was a bit of a failed experiment.
Do you reckon?
They sold a lot, but that's because they basically gave them really good rules.
No. Games Workshop.
But I'm also under the opinion that Games Workshop doesn't use rules to sell kits.
Yeah,
because if you look at the new Tyranid guy,
no. I mean, he is an argument to say that they definitely don't do that.
Yeah.
because he is fucking bonk. We have him downstairs in the pre-order cabinet chat, and Joe really doesn't want the new Tyranid person. If we get...
I don't want to spend money on him, that's the problem.
If we get over 100 members on this show, I'll buy Joe the new Tyranid model and encourage him in one of the next games of Tyranids he plays to use him.
I'm currently... He's in sub-assemblies, but I've glued him all the small bits together and done the base coat, all the base coats on the Hierophant. So now I just go back and do the armor lines.
I'll be honest with you, the pictures that you put in the team chat, that thing looks like he's a pig.
Oh, it's horrible. Whoever designed it hates people because if I was going to say, if there's one new kit I'd like to see for Tyranid, it's a plastic Hierophant, because the central body on the Hierophant is made of like a lighter resin, and it's more like a hard clay.
But it's done on purpose though, isn't it? So it doesn't fucking bow the legs.
Yeah, it's designed to be lighter because whoever designed the legs didn't design the legs very well.
Didn't think about science.
But the problem is that it's where the underneath is, all the Tyranids have like ribs, don't they?
Yeah.
And inside the ribs, it's like a crustacean. There's like just loads and loads of like porous holes.
Yeah.
So I couldn't just airbrush blast it in one go. I did an airbrush coat, and then I had to go through with a shit brush and literally like with a pot of black paint. It was literally just jabbing it in these holes. It took me like nearly an hour just to fill these holes, because like you'd hold it at another angle and you realise you missed a bit. It was a nightmare. But once I'd done that, the base purples and stuff went down really, really well. But that was just horrific to do. But now I've done the black carapace. Now it's just like going through the carapace and doing the successive different colour lines that they have, that the Tyranids have.
It's because you're excited about Apocalypse, isn't it?
I'm very excited about the concept of Apocalypse coming. Obviously, every time I play Space Marine in the evening, I always do the Hierophant mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to kill him, but it's just cool.
Such a joy.
I was looking at the Tyranid combat patrol before I came up, because it's very good value for money. I've decided I want loads of hive. I've got Tyrant Guard. I haven't got any Hive Guard. That's a lie. I've got 3. I get some more, but then I was like, I do like the idea of having loads of Pyrovores.
You've got more Hive Guard than we've got members right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We get more in a box than the amount of members we have. Eternal Crusade says the Nids need new warriors. Yes.
We do need new warriors.
Yeah,
indeed.
because the warriors currently don't match the aesthetic of the primes. The primes are closer to the new, look more like mini versions of the Norn in how it's designed. So hopefully we'll get new redesigned warriors.
What guns do I need to put on this thing? Twin plasma, twin airburst fragmentation projector, or twin Gatling cannon? Burst cannon even. Chat. What's the on this missile pod that sits here? What underslung gun do we put on it? Do we put on a twin plasma? Is it twin plasma rifle? Oh, where's the fucking rules? Where's the fucking rules? Where's the fucking rules? We've had a couple of super chats coming in already as well, Jay.
Well, realistically, the rules don't really matter much because, it could change.
It could change, but,
Yeah.
What's good now? Nothing ever went wrong by going, what's good now? Codex Tower Empire, Data Sheet, and then making a choice. Thank you, Tank, for 5 gifted memberships. You're a legend. What a fucking hero. Tank comes in there, Joe, and smashes 5 down straight away.
I hope, Tank, that you get to spend your weekend in a sunny little village, nice little quiet, like Airbnb on a river. It's nice and sunny. Lots of summer dresses everywhere. And you're completely alone, just hobbying, playing the Warhams, sitting on a nice, and you can just go sit out on the porch, look at the river.
Someone whinged about the hopes.
Why?
On the comment section.
Well, is it because I haven't given them one?
Really good game, really enjoyable if you get rid of all the I hope nonsense.
I mean, I can stop doing hopes.
No. I'm like, are you new here?
Clearly.
I think the airburst fragmentation projector.
Are people bored of hopes? Do they want me to stop?
Makes
my life easier.
The airburst fragmentation projector is 24-inch blast, heavy, D6, hitting on 4s, strength 3, AP nothing, 1 damage, indirect fire, twin links.
Oh. I'm currently trying to build all my venoms with the carapace off. Because then I can airbrush the bottom silver and the top blue.
Okay.
And it saves me having to do the whole thing like black then blue and then paint the bottom on its own.
Which gun, chat? Get rid of shit commenters. Yeah, I thought so. Keep the hopes going. That's what I thought you wanted. When you're bored of hopes, you're bored of life. I need some help with which tower gun to put on this side. I'm going to skip it for now and keep building the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my Tyranid hype up because the army's not great, but I love playing the army. The rules aren't great, should I say? The army's fucking wonderful. The Hierophant being 800 points makes a really weird, makes the army build quite difficult.
Why?
Because it doesn't like leave much. Because like things like hive tyrants and stuff are very, very points heavy. And also, I don't have that many gaunts. I need more Hormagaunts, I think, is the problem.
Yeah?
Yeah. What would chat's idea be? I'm going to ask him. I told Leah about it earlier. When the new Armageddon rules come out, should we do an Armageddon game on a Saturday? Just 'cause I want to put the Hierophant on the table. And we could do the Hierophant mission.
They're never going to say no to it, I don't think.
Yeah.
No. I'm here for it, by the way. I think it's a good idea.
Nids needs 20-man Steeler bricks back. No, I don't think they need the 20-man brick back. What I think they need is Gene Steelers to be battle line again.
Yeah?
That's a world I want to live in.
I don't know why they...
Because then I can buy more.
Although 20-man bricks were pretty good at one point, weren't they? Not pretty good at one point, the 20-man bricks?
The 20-man bricks were horrific to play against. Yeah. You also have to think about the enjoy. If they are like how they are now, that would be gross.
But this is life of a wargamer, Joe, right? Life of a wargamer is, I really want this thing because it's really good for me.
I think the thing is, though, I think what I've learned over time is, like, there's things I want to happen, but I'm also aware of the health of the game at the same time.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Liam's Nina Custodies. Well, you know what? We got a delivery yesterday.
A delivery?
A delivery from Games Workshop, including our pre-orders for the coming week.
I've already seen other sellers of Warhams.
Yeah.
Have already put up pictures.
Yeah.
And I think they're only getting 5 by the
Yeah,
that seems to be the number.
We only got 3. We only got 3. We didn't get many. Or we got 5, but Toby and I wanted one, so we've only got 3.
Oh.
But we asked for 15.
We should give away one.
We were asked for 15 and we were told no, right? And I spoke to people who know some bigger businesses who asked for significantly more than 15 and also only got 5.
The Glacier Geek says if we need Space Wolves, come to us.
Oh, hey, Phil.
Come to us, Phil.
Have you met Phil?
Yes. I spent... See,
What a beautiful
I'm
human
talk
he
about
is.
you now, Phil. don't get creeped out by this. I'd never met Phil before. Right?
Before
I went to Warhammer Worlds. Yes, chat, I went to Warhammer Worlds.
Did you?
And I inserted myself in Phil's life. But I spent 5 minutes with him, and I was like, this is a man I want to spend as much time with as possible.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
He is a glorious creature.
I met him
and
in
we spent much time together.
I met him in No Retreat Legends. We played a game.
If I could see and speak to Phil every day, my life would be 1,000% improved.
Well, that's what FaceTime's for, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's different time zones, isn't it?
I mean, he's awake now, so are you.
That's fair. But Phil, come to us, and we'll do it. Because my Tyranids will go anywhere. They'll go to any planet, eat anyone. and it'd be great.
I'm excited because I get to build this little arm and I start to get to fit some of the main parts together. I'm quite excited for this.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this model too much. And part of our order was the replenishment of the Storm Surge for downstairs. And we've started to build our stock holdings for the website. So we had 3 Storm Surges turn up yesterday. And I was like, is 3 too many for a list?
Not really, because there's the points for it.
Yeah, the 340 or 360 points each.
So what I'm hearing is you can fit 3 in 1,000 points and still have 1,000 points back.
You can fit 3 in just over 1,000 points.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Balanced as all things should be.
1,080 points, I think.
I think you'll probably discover in a really sad moment is that it's probably not as good as you want it to be.
It's definitely not as good as I want it to be, Joe.
Like 3 Riptides is better than 3.
Here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing. You can fit 3 Storm Surges in at less than 1,100 points.
Yeah.
Then you can fit 3 Riptides in for another 600 points.
Yeah.
And you've still got 300 points left to spend.
Yeah, just spin it on Fire Warriors and sit on objectives. Or Pathfinders to like guide for you.
Take 2 units of stealth suits and Shadow Sun and you're away. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out if 3 Storm Surges is too much.
No.
Chat. Not that I can afford 3 Storm Surges right now.
I'm after Raveners at the moment. If anyone in chat has spare Raveners.
We can't get hold of them right now.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get them. They've fallen off the edge of the planet. I think what's happened is I said that Raveners are actually quite good, and then everyone decided to buy them.
Yeah.
And now we haven't got any. Because I think Raveners are probably the best profile in the Tyranid book at the moment.
Do you reckon?
I think they're, I think they're incredible.
I don't know. I don't know the book as well as you do. So.
But so you've got 2 units. You've got the prime unit, which gives the unit sustained. They're all toughness 5, 3 wounds, 4 up save. So but they're twin linked, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2, anti-vehicle, anti-monster 4+.
That's pretty decent.
The unit has sustained hits, and obviously they are a synapse creature as well, so they get +1 strength. Mega Broth, you mean normal Raveners or hyper-adapted? I think both. I think both are great. I think you take 3 of each. And then you can either pair, depending on what you're playing against, you pair them up into 3 units, or you have 6 individuals.
Wow, so you're all in on Raveners at the moment.
I think they're really good.
Okay.
For the ability to have strength 6, AP 2, damage 2 in Tyranids, which is rare for them. Obviously, they can all deep strike. Normal Raveners can go back into they can uppy downy. But the command squad allows them to rapid ingress for free.
Strong.
They're really good. The prime of the command has got 6 attacks and 6 wounds. So it's actually quite good, and he can be given enhancements. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
How important, when we talk about Adepticon and the reveals, how important do you think the bad guy is to the box set? Do you think it makes any difference? Because like recently we've had Necrons, we've had Tyranids, obviously. We've had, what was 5th edition? Chaos Space Marines, wasn't it?
Yeah, Crimson Slaughter.
Yeah, versus Dark Angels. All right, that was the one, wasn't it?
6th and 7th edition.
Do you think it makes a massive difference, or do you think the Space Marines just carry the box anyway? And actually, wasn't that 5th edition box, was that the only one where it's been a Legion specific, like Dark Angel specific Space Marines?
Yeah.
Because that's got to have done worse, surely. Because
that's
it's
why
just
it
Dark
lasted
Angels.
2 editions, I think, because it didn't sell as well as they hoped. Like, I think, so Orcs, excluding 11th edition, Orcs have been in the box set twice, Tyranids twice, Dark Eldar once, Necrons once, Death Guard once.
Actually, Dark Eldar was versus Templars. That was Legion specific, as well, or chapter specific.
Yeah, it was plain Space Marines, really. They were just painted as Black Templars.
Were they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you got a Crusader squad in the box set.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think it was just a tactical squad. But the artwork for third edition was Templars. The artwork for second edition was Dark Angels. No, was Blood Angels. It wasn't until fourth edition that it was Ultramarines for Battle for Macragge. And then it was Ultramarines until sixth edition when it was Dark Angels.
Ultramarines forevermore.
And then it was Ultramarines again.
Ultramarines forevermore.
Yeah.
I quite like Ultramarines. I don't mind too much, but
third edition. It was painted Templars with the real classic front cover of the Templars in the big defensive pile, but they were still generic Marines. Although you got the little trees and the little corner ruins in that box set. So the rumour is that this edition will be Blood Angels painted Space Marines versus Orcs because Armageddon. I think the bad guy is important for setting the narrative and the theme, and it also kind of dictates who's going to be the first codexes of that edition.
Yeah, I think so. I just wondered if you thought it would impact sales at all or not.
I think I want Drakari to be part of Dark Eldar to be.
My God, that floor's disgusting. Need to get Henry up here, Joe. Need to get Henry up here to do some sucking.
Yeah.
It's disgusting here. Thank you, Nick, by the way, for $5. Nick says, brain check. Also, Adepticon should see Deacon lock in for otherwise his launch box bet from Limey Panda. It's not looking good, Dan. Bile Predator. There was a bet in Thanes. I don't remember what it was. But a couple of people had a bet about what was going to be in the box and what wasn't going to be in the box.
I heard a rumour. Sound like the women from Umbrella Academy. I heard a rumour that there was going to be a new jump chaplain and Vanguard vets in it. But that's all I know from the rumour.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's talking about it being a kind of edition of Fast Attack, isn't there?
Yeah, so like New Walk bikes.
Yeah.
I doubt there'll be the copters in there because they got a new plastic kit, didn't they?
Brian check. Sorry, Nick. Yeah. No, he's been turned off this time around. I'm remembering to do it now. Look, come at me, right? I'm tired. I'm stressed. Sometimes Brian gets left turned on. Right? It's the worst thing to be left turned on, but sometimes Brian gets left turned on.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm sorry.
Good.
Thank you, Gareth, for the $2. He says, Joe's go to 5 guys or just 4 guys?
I'm going to be honest, I don't like 5 guys. And the food is okay, but it is the concept that you have to basically spend like 20 quid on a subpar burger offends me slightly.
Subpar, wow.
Like I have never had a burger from Five Guys where I've gone, wow, that was really, really good.
I fucking love Five Guys burgers.
I think it's if you order
these kind of hot takes is why we're only on 6 members.
If you order it as a takeaway, it's basically just a soggy roll.
Oh, it's fucking gorgeous.
I think it's overpriced tat. I would much rather have a McDonald's or Burger King over Five Guys.
Would you?
Yeah, 100%. For a start, you'd have more. You would feel less ripped off for a start. Or for that money, you could just go and have you could have like a whole Domino's pizza for less.
Yeah.
A large one.
I don't like Domino's though, really. Don't really care for Domino's, Joe.
You could probably get a whole Chinese takeaway.
I do care for a Chinese takeaway. I do like that. So Five Guys' biggest problem is it is extortionately expensive for what it is.
What I find, the hilarious thing I find about Five Guys is you have to when you're in there remortgaging your house to buy a burger, you go to the toilet and they have the audacity to put posters up in the toilets about old Five Guys burgers being like 40 cents or whatever, or like $2, and you're like, okay. It's not been that long since you launched this brand.
Thanks, you're now going to fleece us. Where's that piece gone then? My eyes, just doth my eyes to see. Oh,
there's a million places I'd rather go before Five Guys. If Five Guys was the only place there to eat, then why not? But like when we went to Nottingham, we did Nando's one day, Five Guys the next day. They are next to each other.
If we get to over,
I would have happily just walked over to Nando's.
If we get to over 100 members on the stream, I'm going to force feed him Five Guys later.
I mean, if I don't have to pay for it, I'll eat it
and take it out as pay.
Then I don't want it.
Joe has some bad takes, but this one might be the most bonkers.
Five Guys is a rip-off, and you should all be aware of it.
Exclamation mark gift. We get to 100 members. We're gonna order Five Guys. I'll take it out as pay.
No, I don't think you're legally allowed to do that.
If you get caught.
I think saying it on the internet is probably not the best place to start.
Yeah, well, you know, none of these people. These people will love us, Joe.
I would rather have hemorrhoids than that tripe. It's awful stuff. I just don't see the value in it. I was watching Burnt Peanut the other day. He said that, like, in today's economy and the cost of living, it's all about getting the correct vectors of price, value, quantity. You know.
Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah.
And Five Guys is way off on the vectors. I've dropped an arm. There it is. Just got those little rubber mats on the floor for to collect all the stuff.
So it hits the floor and bounces straight back up?
Yeah.
Would you rather eat a Five Guys or a Hierophant?
If I had to buy, I'd rather buy the Hierophant and have a Hierophant. I wouldn't eat it.
No, that wasn't the question. Would you rather eat a Five Guys or eat a Hierophant?
Well, the Five Guys is more edible. I just think it's just extortionate, and it's. I think I'd rather eat a Wetherspoons burger than a Five Guys burger. That's where I'm at now. And the Wetherspoons one comes with a free pint.
It's a hot take, John. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You're upset in the chat right now. They're not happy with you.
I don't think that they're a business that's aimed at selling to the normal person.
I think they are.
That's where I'm at. Like, I think if you what you paid for a Five Guys, you could probably go to like McDonald's and get like 2 meals and share a box of cheese.
I'm going to be honest with you, right? I do like a cheeky McDonald's.
McDonald's is great.
It's not. It's shit. But I do like a cheeky McDonald's. But it is shit. You can't say that it's great. It's not great. It's shit.
Nothing will ever beat a Big Tasty. It is both big and tasty.
Chat, on the super chat, what's your go-to McDonald's order? Go. Mine is 5 chicken selects. Just that. With a meal, strawberry milkshake if the milkshake machine's working.
Yeah.
Do you see the super chat? There's loads. I'm getting through them. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We said thank you to Dr. Turner Jr. for the 1 gifted. We said thank you to Tank for the 5 gifted. We are actually only on 6 gifted, chat. We're not even in double figures. What have we done to hurt you lately? What have we done to hurt you? Thank you, Tank, for the $10. He says, my 11th wish list is new Grey Knights with units that look and feel different than new Samael, Black Knights, Ezekiel, and jet bikes. So not much then. For Adepticon, just some solid info on what the plan is. Grey Knights are in desperate need of a refresh.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was a world where they were trying to get rid of them. And that's why we just got this shitty upgrade spree.
I think the world they're trying to get rid of them was more of a case of they wanted to put Grey Knights and Death Watch away as an army, and they just go into Agents of the Imperium. I just think that they just executed it really poorly.
Yeah.
If they'd done it better, I don't think anyone would have cared. I think people would have been perfectly happy. But it was just a real half-assing. And I think it was half-assed because of the lack of kits.
Oh, it's kicking off now. Yeah, I think Grey Knights, I think Joe's right. I think they'll get a refresh at some point. I think they're too popular not to, but I don't know when that's going to happen because I love the concept of Grey Knights. That being said, I also think in this current edition, their rules kind of don't really reflect what they want to do. So like, Grey Knights are an elite like infantry unit with loads of melee, and all their rules are like teleport away. Teleport away all the time. And so I think they've kind of lost a bit of identity.
It's an army that's at odds with itself, basically.
Yeah, they've lost a bit of identity. But hopefully that'll get resolved in the new edition. Fingers crossed. In terms of all the Dark Angel stuff, Tank, I think a lot of that you're more likely to see if the rumours are right about it being an addition of like fast attack and stuff. Like new Black Knights, we are in need of them now because they're just not Primaris scale. Whether they would go down the route of them being on jet bikes like Samael and stuff, I don't know. Samael as a concept, if you think about the fact that the fucking White Scar's got a cool jet bike man before the Raven Wing, I think that's partly criminal. But he's also beautiful.
I mean, White Scars have had a disservice since 8th edition.
True, 100%.
They have been served a shit sandwich compared to Dark Angels.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, they have, but I still think Samael should have got the model before whatever his name is. But, I'd be hopeful as a Dark Angels player who likes Raven Wing for this edition if the rumours are true, but I wouldn't be too hopeful because it's still Games Workshop and they can still go, here's a whole edition of Fast Attack. Raven Wing, yeah, you get nothing. It is possible.
Raven Wing are in Dawn of War. And there are quite clearly Raven Wing Outriders in the Dawn of War trailer.
Is there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
They are just normal Outriders that Dark Angel-ified, but, that had to come from somewhere.
Just normal men.
Yeah.
Just innocent men. So yeah, I think you don't want a lot. I actually don't think any of it's completely unreasonable though for that. When you consider as well the edition spans across 3 years, asking for all that stuff for Dark Angels and a Grey Knights release, when you think about what we've had in 10th, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. So,
what I'd like to see from Games Workshop when they do the announcement is they give some caveats for the edition. You know how we had that real fun moment where literally 1 week before the edition launched, they just removed all Horus Heresy units from 40k and all the Chaos Forge units from 40k. That was a real fun moment for us all, right? Maybe don't do that this edition. And maybe when you announce the edition, you go, here's some stuff that you might need to know for the new edition, Grey Knights are just going away, or they're moving to Agents of the Imperium book when that gets launched, Give some meaningful information.
Yeah. I'd like
Don't do a roadmap, just give meaningful information. Because the roadmaps, as we know, are fluid, just go, in year 1, these codecs will get released. We won't tell you the order because, shipments have troubles, printing issues might occur, but this is our plan for the first year. And then you go, these armies might be disappearing, or these ones are going into legend. I think that would actually go a long way for Games Workshop in the community.
I think it would. I don't think they'll ever do it, but I think you're right. I think communicating on that level is, and other companies do it within the hobby space.
Yeah.
Games Workshop just don't, and I don't think they have to either. I think we'd all prefer if they did, but they don't have to.
Well, they don't have to because they've got no competition, right?
Correct.
And at the moment. Well, what do you think? I don't think Games Workshop's going to have any competition for a long time.
The world of 3D printing concerns me for Games Workshop's longevity if they don't adapt.
I don't think it does.
Because the quality of printing from where it was, say, 5 years ago, stroke 10 years ago, to where it is now, is monumentally different. And the leaps that technology is making is only going to get better.
But
But
the average person can't have a 3D printer in their house. They don't have the space.
no, see,
Right.
I don't buy it. Though.
And-
like 25 years ago, not a single person's making any models.
Do you
in their
know?
house.
Do you know what's going to happen? Right, is 3D printing is just going to continue to be a gimmick because of
know.
greed. Right, because if 3D printing wants to be popular and successful, then people need to start selling 3D printed models at the cost of developing them and making them. If the 3D printing community wants to be taken seriously as 3D printer goes, but it's so much cheaper, right? But the problem is everyday people's greed gets in the way, right? They go, you don't have the technology or the space or the money to buy a 3D printer, so I will provide you with the 3D printed models. And people are like, great. And then what happens is they go, well, I've printed it off, the resin cost me this much, it took this much time to print it, also I want to make some money on top. And then all of a sudden that thing that literally cost £5 to make, they're charging someone 25 quid for, and then that person goes, I'll just buy the plastic kit now.
I think expecting people to sell any product at cost is probably mental.
Yeah, and then look at Trench Crusade, right? It's an entire company based on 3D printing when it launched. Do you know what they sell now?
Models.
Plastic kits.
Yup.
Because it's cheaper to do en masse in high quantities. No business that creates its own business model off of selling STLs that people can print at home is ever going to make any money. No one that starts that. If you're starting a business where you're, oh, my game is going to overtake Games Workshop and be the best, it's not. It's not going to make money. That company's never going to grow.
What do you think, chap? What do you think? I think 3D printing is going to become even more and more and more common.
It probably will, right? But 3D printing needs to be cheaper. The problem is, right, it's like phones. The smaller it gets, but the higher quality it gets, the more expensive it's going to get. And if I'm going to be honest, I think the 3D printing companies also don't take into just laziness on people's parts, right? I want a whole squad or a whole army now. I don't want it in a month's time once I've printed it all. The resin printers are really, really nice. You know, the quality that comes out of those are incredible, but they're a fucking ball ache. Because you've got to print it and wash it and clean it and pray that print doesn't fail or got any holes or to collapse in on itself, right? And once you've printed it, it's only in one pose. The multi-part stuff's just not very good quality. Plastic's just better. Why aren't we playing with 3D printed
At this
models
point,
right now?
at this point in time, I don't disagree with you, but
Yeah.
I think basing the future off of this point in time is crazy. Because 30 years ago, no one was 3D printing anything. The people that were manufacturing anything on printers lived in commercial spaces with massive fucking
But you
machines.
also need to think, right,
And then technology happens and develops. Because fucking 50 years ago, you didn't have an iPhone in your pocket. They did everything for you, including all your banking, and you weren't able to pay with your phone. You had to use cash. Like, to say that plastic will always be king, I mean, plastic is a material I prefer working with right
but
now.
like-
I don't disagree with that. But to suggest that it will always be king because it's always been king is madness.
no, I think the problem is if you want to 3D print stuff, you either have to buy the files, and then you need to have an app that launches it, or you have to have a computer to do it, right? And then it becomes faff. People are inherently lazy, right? They're like, so I have to get my phone app, or I have to get my computer app, and then I have to buy all the stuff to make the 3D printer work, and then I have to find a place in my house to put it all that the children aren't going to touch it or it's going to get disturbed. right? And then I have to wait 12 hours for it to print my model, you know, which I'm going to need to do 20 times.
Do you think 3D printers only print one model at once?
No, it prints multiple models, right? But I'm thinking if you want one, like, Toby's got that room downstairs. He has a room committed to 3D printing. The average person doesn't have a spare room in their house to commit to solely 3D printing. It's just not feasible. And most people just go like, oh, I could buy the 3D printer and the thousands of pounds worth of equipment to go with it, or I could just buy the army I want. Just have that. You know, if you casually get into bolt action, you're not going to go and buy a 3D printer that costs like £1,000 and the associated computer equipment to play bolt action. You're just going to spend £100 on an army box and save yourself 800 quid.
But again, you're comparing it to the now.
Yeah, so, okay, you compared it to your phones, right? You used to get your phone for free when you bought a contract. Now, if you get a contract, you have to sign up for a 3-year payment plan to pay off that phone.
Right, so this argument is completely invalidated, though, when how many people got smartphones that they pay on their contracts?
Yeah, but you have to pay more money.
But everyone's got one, Joe, that's the point. Everyone's got one, though.
Yeah.
So you're right, you have to pay more money, everyone's got one.
Yeah, because you don't need a 3D... The thing is, you don't need a 3D printer to live and play Warhammer.
Don't need a smartphone to exist.
No, you don't. What I'm saying is that, like, everyone needs a phone because you need to contact people. You don't need a 3D printer to play Warhammer. You just buy the Warhammer. I could go to a shop and buy the Warhams.
The Warhams.
I think 3D printing is a fad, and it won't go away. It'll be around forever, right? But there's a reason why Games Workshop are currently living quite a successful life.
Yeah, of course.
selling Warhammer.
I still think as a business they need to be agile.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I don't think 3D printing is it, because I don't. 3D printing is only valuable to the end user. Ultimately, if Games Workshop sold 3D printing as a model, right? They would have to make it so you can only use their 3D printer, you can only use their resin, you can only use their cleaning products, right? Because selling a file where someone can print a Storm Surge as many times as they want, how do you price that to make money?
You price it with Games Workshop, you price it extortionately high. That's what they do.
Yeah, but at the moment they're selling you 3 Storm Surges at what, 80 quid each, right?
100.
100 quid, right?
On the second, well, 100 from an independent.
100, 75. How much?
100 from an independent, so it's more from Games
So
Workshop.
it's 100 from an independent, right? But so if they sell 3 of those, right, they're making 250 quid, you know? If they sell you a file for a tenner, right, they're making no more money from you. And what happens is you then 3D print that for your friends. Because they're not, why would they need to do it? And only you need to have the printer, your friends don't need to have a printer.
Right, so now you're arguing for printing.
No, I'm not arguing for, no, what I'm doing is I'm arguing why it doesn't work as a business, as a viable business.
Well, yeah, but we're already in a world where people are using AI tools, and I don't like this, by the way, nor do I think it's right, before anyone gets on my case. But we're already in a world where Games Workshop shows off a new model, people use an AI tool, and within minutes they've got a 3D printed version. Now it's currently a potato, these 3D printed versions. They're much worse. It happened with Huron. Second Huron got displayed. Within moments there was a 3D print of him somewhere because someone had used AI, scanned it all in, figured out roughly what the dimensions were and what it looked like, and then gone, off you go, make this model for me, right? That's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. And in the future, in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, those 3D scans that come in from reveals that then get put out to the market aren't going to be shit. They're going to be fucking basically spot on.
Yeah.
So.
But that's also known as IP theft.
Yeah, and I said it's wrong. Well, I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you that it's wrong. I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying that it's going to happen. As a company, they've got to figure out how they protect themselves. And you know, the companies in the world that Toys R Us, right, as a company, When the internet came out and Amazon came out, Toys R Us went, no one wants to shop online. Everyone wants to come and shop. And then it went bust. So...
Yeah, but that's different to 3D printing, though, isn't it?
The principle's the same. The market changes, the market evolves, the market develops. If a business doesn't remain agile and looks at what's going on and adapts accordingly, it dies. That's what happens.
So the only way that the only way you make 3D printing a viable thing, right, as an idea, and people will hate it, is that you can only use a 3D printing file once.
One and done.
One done. Because as a business, you want people to be buying the same thing multiple times.
Yeah, of course you do.
Right? We've had to buy multiple boxes of Intercessors and Blade Guard and Terminators. If people who live at home want the 3D printing that they currently have to stay the same, they only have to buy the Intercessor once. They only have to buy the Terminator once. And that, as a business, is terrible. Games Workshop's better off just
I'm not
stopping.
telling you that I know the answer for them. Yeah. I'm just saying they're going to have to be mindful of it. And currently they don't have competition. And I can't imagine a world where that just remains the same forever. Because shit like 3D printing, like 3D printing, not specifically what we currently have, is improving at a rate of knots and catching them up in terms of quality.
Yeah.
And so I think they need to be agile, and I think they need to keep an eye on that. And I don't know what the answer is. I'm not Games Workshop, nor am I their shareholders or their CEO. I don't know what the answer is. I haven't got a fucking clue. I'm just about trying to build a hobby shop. But to be like, 3D printing will never catch on. I mean, people probably would have said that 20 years ago. Look where we are now.
Do you know what happens when 3D printing gets popular? You don't have a model shop. You don't have model shops.
Correct.
So
that's the risk.
Yeah. So what? I think 3D printing. If the people who say that they want 3D printers, right? I think ultimately, if you try and make the 3D printer super successful and replace the selling of plastic kits, you essentially destroy the hobby. Right? You destroy the hobbying community as a whole. Because you destroy shops, you destroy like gaming clubs, right? The hobby ultimately then just becomes just play with your friends at home, and that's it. Like, we'd be out of a job.
Yeah. I don't know if we'd be out of a job. I don't know if providing the entertainment around the hobby is that impacted by it.
Maybe.
Downstairs would be out of a job, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard one. I used to start getting from some of these super chats. I'd love to know what you guys think about this, actually. I'm interested because I think Games Workshop could have a very big future, because I think people, for the most part, a lot of young people especially, actually, are coming away from things like digital content and going, I like the crafty side of it. I like all these, physical elements to playing war games, to being with people in a shop rather than sat behind a screen and a computer. I think that's the case. I think that's happening. I think hobby shops are seeing a resurgence or have seen growth in recent years because of those reasons. But I also think Games Workshop has to keep an eye on what's going on. To go, wow, we've always been fine, I think would just be fucking professional suicide. And I wouldn't put it past a giant company to commit professional suicide, because plenty of them have done it in the past.
I think what happens is that, like, big businesses ultimately just shut down, right? Because if you think about the jobs it takes to run Warhammer World, right? It takes to run Games Workshop. You put 90% of that business out of work.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes a small office business, right? And a company that goes from making literally millions of pounds a year goes to making much less.
Not if the business adapts. That's the problem, isn't it? If the business adapts, if the business goes, this is changing, we need to change with it, we change our business model, we change our business plan, businesses can survive those kinds of changes. It's possible.
But if you go,
they will look different. You're right; they'll look very different.
but how does Games Workshop make as much money as it does now by saying you only need to buy stuff from us once and never again?
But I'm not saying that's what they do, Joe. That's you've got that in your head that's their new business model if we accept 3D printing.
Well, that's what I think. I think like nerds don't like change, right?
They hate two things,
They
Joe.
hate change. The way
Change
things
in the way
are,
things are.
right? And if Games Workshop say you can 3D print from home now, but you have every time you print you have to pay. If you can only access our encrypted 3D print files from an app on your phone, and every time you print it, we will charge you. And they'll go, no, I'll just copy yours and print my own.
Exactly. So that's why they need to be agile, don't they? They have to come up with a better solution. I think I'm going to go twin airburst fragmentation projector because it sounds cool. I think that's what we're going.
I think I'd stop it if it all went 3D printed.
The hobby,
Yeah.
I
just give
currently don't like 3D printed, but I think I'd have to wait and see what the quality was like when we got there. So,
Because I wouldn't want to be involved with the actual making process at all. I'd want someone to print it and then send it to me.
fair.
I wouldn't want to, because it's such a ball ache.
Anyway, I need to start getting from this.
Because at the moment, I messaged Toby quite often. Oh, can you print this? He's like, I can't because you've got to wait for the printers to be finished.
Oh, he's just giving you excuses. He doesn't do what you want him to do.
And I'm just like,
because our printers have been 24/7 pretty much since we've had them.
I know, but like doing specific things, right?
Yeah.
And you have to wait, or you got to wait till tomorrow to get it.
Do you know why we bought 3 3D printers
Yeah.
and a load of filament? Is because it was significantly cheaper and more cost effective to cover all our tables and terrain that way than buying actual.
I think for terrain it's great, but I think for model kits, I think like I sent him basically. I said to him like, can we 3D print Space Marine helmets? I found a file to make life-size Space Marine helmets, and he was like, we haven't got time.
Yeah,
Right.
he's right.
He is right. But the difference is, in today's world, I'll be like, cool, if I haven't got time, I'll just buy it
Yeah.
and have it sent to me.
Oh, currently, I just buy Games Workshop kits. 100%, I agree with you. But like I said, my problem isn't currently. My problem is what's happening in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years' time. So, we've got some stuff in chat to get through anyway. We are currently only on 23 of the finest members, which means I can't force Joe to have 5 guys and take it out of his wages right now, because that's at 100, right? But I'm going to get into chat. So, Nick Sutton for $2 says, Caldor or Dawn returns as the king in yellow, question mark. Think Dawn or Caldor comes back?
So realistically, the book is saying that the king in yellow is Valdor, right? I think realistically, the only other person it could be is Dawn.
Okay.
I think Dawn will come back. I think Games Workshop like Symmetry, and if we are getting Perturabo, I think Dawn is the logical person to go against him. Also, because Templars don't have a Primark model to go with their codex.
Yeah.
I mean, the Space Wolves don't either. So it would either be Lehman Russ or Dawn, but I think the symmetry of Perturabo and Dawn is the best outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. So you think one of them could return, you think it could be Dawn? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not right, is it?
Also, the future of Custodian 40k is very up in the air at the moment.
Oh, I'd like to know your thoughts on this one as well, because there's a Custodian's box downstairs with my fucking name on it, because it's about 1,000 points in 40k of Custodians, and it's also obviously heresy relevant at the same time. Hit me, Joe. What are you thinking?
I think buying that box set for 40k currently is a bit of a gamble.
Okay.
Because in it you get a tank and a dreadnought, right? Which are currently Forge World resin and legal in 40k.
Correct.
But history also serves that plastic kits that are resin that get replaced in Heresy disappear from 40k. The outlier, of course, being the Knights.
Correct.
So that's a bit of an unknown at the moment.
The only reason why I'm relatively comfortable and confident with it at the moment is because, one, they've specifically mentioned it in Warcom, and they have had some, backlash for Warcom putting shit out that isn't right. So I'd like to think they may have done something.
But the post says they'll be playable in Warhammer 40k.
Exactly.
Right? Because they have rules currently. So on release,
that's true.
That statement is correct.
It is, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that knowing that if they knew they were going to remove them in 11th edition from options, making that statement now is a very fucking bold move. I wouldn't put it past them for reference.
Right, but this post comes from Warcom.
Right, exactly. That's
which, as we know, is not a reliable source.
No.
And I don't want to live in a world where I'm constantly shitting on Warcom, right? Because, they've got a job to do. But business jargon, and loads of companies do this, the amount of computer games that get released at the moment, and then their servers are shut down 2 months later because no one's playing it. They're like, yeah, this game is popular, spend loads of money on it. And then we'll take your money and fuck off, in 9th edition, and even when 10th edition launched, the Games Workshop website said that the Khitan was playable in Warhammer 40k because there was Legends rules.
Yep.
So the statement is saying that these models are playable in 40k is also right if it goes to Legends.
Correct.
Competitive, they didn't mention competitive play. They didn't say match play. They just said that it'll be playable.
I just think it's a bold move to do it again after the backlash. And again, I wouldn't put it past them. I'm not saying they won't.
Yeah. I think
people have to realise that Warcom isn't a news source. It's here's how we sell more stuff.
The thing is, though, Games Workshop likes to silo stuff, and ultimately, the Custodes box set release is a Horus Heresy box set release. And
well, again, and you've already said it yourself, but part of my confidence only comes from the fact that, although I agree with what you're saying, Knights. And I think these boxes and these plastic tanks and dreadnoughts, I think they'll go, we'll sell far too many of these to 40k players. Why wouldn't we? I just think that's what will happen. I think they started down a path of everything should be separate. Everything should be its own system. And I think they've gone, oh, this was a bad move. Because even kill teams are now getting released as non-kill team versions for 40k.
After a year.
Right. But so I think they went, this is a fucking silly idea. We need to start pulling this back onto you can use everything and everything. That's just my theory and my opinion. I might be wrong, but I think they started down that silo. I think they started down the Heresy's just for Heresy, 40k is just for 40k, AOS is just for AOS, Old World's just for Old World, Kill Team's just for Kill Team. I think they went, this isn't.
I think they know. I think they want to keep it siloed and they want to keep it in a line, and they realise some things might get used in other stuff.
Blackfire says Warcom is not reliable. You're telling me Fulgrim can't one-shot a Titan? Who knew?
I think until I see a Custode Codex,
nothing's off the table at that point, of course. Yeah. But arguably that's true for any faction.
I think at the moment, buying the Custodes box set for 40k is the purest level of gambling you can achieve at the moment.
So I've bought it for both.
Yeah. If you're buying it with the intention for both, fill your boots. But mentally, prepare yourself that you will only be able to use half that box in 40k.
Yeah, I've bought it for both. I am okay that could be the outcome. But I've done it knowing that could be the outcome because it's Games Workshop.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you buy any book or any codex or any model, there is every chance that a week later they go, yeah, we removed it. It's unlikely, but it can happen. The amount of people that had bought, let's take for sake of argument, the Brass Scorpion or Decimators for Chaos Space Marines, right?
Yeah.
100% 40k models, not Heresy models, not heresy kits.
Yeah.
Logically, if you bought those, they are safe for your army. Remove the lot.
But they are safe for your army if you use the Legends rules. And that's
a get out of jail free card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is. You can play it. You have the rules to do it. You just cannot play it in match play.
Yeah. Thank you, Heike, for $2. Please let Dark Angels get new Black Knights at some point. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd like Black Knights that are on jet bike safe personally, but I wouldn't be surprised. Mr. Dave B, thank you for the $2. He says, has Joe got COVID? His taste buds affect. That's because you said you didn't like Five Guys.
I think it's just overpriced. I think there are many more foods on this planet that you pay that price for of a better quality.
Then Mr. The Rambo, thank you for the $5, says, take it out of his pay anyway as punishment for not liking Five Guys. You didn't win this argument with chat, by the way. You didn't. Thank you, Evan, for the $2. If the moon was made of spare ribs, would you eat it?
If I had access to it. But, I'm not going to... If it go, you could eat moon ribs, but they'll cost you £1 million, I'd be like, no. That's stupid.
Right.
You know?
We need the moon as well. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, you have to get to the moon.
The moon's quite important to the world in general. We do need the moon. So, thank you, Evan, anyway, for the $2. Thank you also, Evan, for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Evan. I hope that you
Struggling, JJ.
I hope that you have scuba diving lessons.
Oh,
Yeah,
for free? Or he's got to pay for them?
I don't mind.
Well, let's say for free then.
For
if it's a
free.
hope, yeah. Otherwise, you've got to pay for expensive scuba dive lessons. Is not necessarily as good a hope, is it? Thank you, Whitey55, for the 1 gifted. You're a legend as well. And thank you, Nick, for $5. McBaster's chicken is great value, but I always feel like I might as well go to KFC, who also have goat chips now. I fucking love KFC. KFC is like my vice, to be honest with you, in fast food. KFC or currently German doner kebab are my 2 vices. Little GDK boxes are incredible. They're so nice. But thank you for the $5, man. You're a legend. Thank you so much, Dink Donk, for the $5. I hope the reveals will be good, as it's likely I'll be made redundant soon. Fuck corporations. Actually, I want them to be shit, so I spend less money. Fair.
But the
crossed
problem is, though, if it's bad, then it's a lose-lose situation for Games Workshop because they don't make any money and people just slag them off online.
I mean, every time that's happened, and it has happened, where the reveals hasn't been good and people have slagged them off online, they've continued to report quarter-on-quarter profit increase. So I don't think they're massively concerned.
Yeah.
To be fair. Because hobbyists will complain like fuck and still go out and buy the product. And currently, that's why I think they're safe. But, we'll see. Thank you for the $5, Naomi, you're a legend. Thank you so much, Rum O'Clock, for the $5. Maccas and spoons are both there for a single purpose, providing a clean place to launch brown torpedoes when you're out and need to pay your poop tax.
I mean, Weatherspoons generally do have quite nice toilets.
I mean, every McDonald's toilets I've been into has been relatively average. I've seen some. I was in my local Morrison's yesterday, and I was like, I need the bathroom. I stopped off at the bathroom, and I don't know who had been shitting in their hand and smearing it around all the toilet seats, but that is what had happened.
But that's not the shop's fault, is it?
No, of course it's not the shop's fault, but it was pretty vile. Mandy, thank you for the $5. Says, oh no, is that Tau I'm seeing? It is, yeah. I like Tau now. Until next week. Thank you, B. Samsico, for the 1 gifted membership. You're a hero. We're currently on 43 members, chat. 2 1s and a 5, and we get to 50 members. That'd be amazing. Thank you, Nick, for $5 more. 3D printing will remain both a niche and about to put Games Workshop out of business, according to YouTube, forever. Schrodinger's clickbait.
Yeah.
I do So I think Games Workshop have to have an eye on it. I do. And I think they have to be aware of it. And I think they have to be prepared to react to it. But when I see videos and thumbnails and fucking articles from Spiky Bits online saying Games Workshop are in trouble, their business is about to be over, I'm like, fuck off. That's not gonna. Although I talk about people like Toys R Us going bust because they didn't put their shit online in time, that wasn't like an overnight thing. It's a long old process to get to a point where a business that size goes bust.
Yeah.
So, I fucking hate those kinds of videos. Nick,
But I think the problem is, like, ultimately, people are still buying petrol and diesel cars, right?
Of course they are.
There was the electric car revolution, wasn't there? And then we're still paying insane money for diesel,
Don't get me started on the electric car argument, Joe.
No?
That's a real way to trigger me, that one.
Why?
The amount of people, right. The amount of people that have an electric car are better for the environment, isn't it? No, it's not. Tell me how it was made.
Well,
Tell me how all the fucking nickel was mined for the batteries in it, you fucking buffoon. It's not better for the environment at all. If anything, it's worse.
Yeah.
Just because you feel good, because you've not got any gases coming out the back of your car, but then you plug it into a fucking power socket and the fucking power station down the road's chugging away.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. But you're right, the electric car revolution happened for a while, and then guess what? And a lot of people go, I don't pay any road tax because electric car. How's that going for you? How's that going now?
They're charging road tax on electric cars.
Yeah, and you have to pay, soon you're going to have to start paying pence per mile that you travel in an electric car as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope the government's going to do something about all those roads that are getting messed up. It's the pothole hell at the moment as well.
One of the heads of British fire safety was also talking about electric cars recently because the cost to replace a battery in a Tesla is astronomical.
Yeah.
They only have a certain life. So what people are doing is they're buying cheap ones from fucking China because it's significantly cheaper than buying a Tesla one. And then guess what happens? They fucking set on fire.
Yeah.
Funny old thing, when you buy batteries from places that aren't regulated properly, they tend to spontaneously combust.
My partner very kindly got me a new radio for my old car, and the brand was just car radio, so it's high quality. And I plugged it in and it just started smoking.
Yeah.
Immediately, and I was like,
Not like a pipe, like it was on fire.
Yeah, like just smoke was just flooding out of my console. And I was like, oh, okay.
I do have to add as well, by the way, I don't have a problem with electric vehicles. And if you say to me, I got electric car in because it fucking saves me money, it's cheaper, fair enough. Cool.
I call them the silent killer. The amount of times I've nearly stood in front of an electric car.
Yeah. You go for it. If you're going to tell me it saves me money, cool. I'm fine. I accept that and I respect it, if anything. And some people will tell you the performance is better because electric's instant power. Yeah. Some of the fucking cars out there, electric, are mental.
If you have a bit of a brain fart and you forget to charge your car and it runs out of battery, you can't just walk to the nearest petrol station and buy more battery, can you?
No, you have to plug it in somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, my opinion on electric cars. There you go. Just for reference. I don't know how we started that.
Basically about how everyone said the 3D printer revolution. I'm like, yeah, but it's the same as the electric car revolution.
Yeah, it was Joe's fault. He set me off. I'll blame him. Fucking electric cars. I personally hate them, but I don't hate them as much as the pretentious person telling me they're saving the environment by buying one. Anyway, thank you, Nub, for the $2. Liam, did you abandon Space Wolves due to rules restrictions? No. I abandoned Space Wolves because I get very fatigued, and I say abandoned, they're on pause. I get very fatigued with Space Marines very quickly. I get really hyped about them, and I start working with them, and I get very bored very fast.
Is that your same statement for Tau? I got very fatigued from Tau very quickly next week.
Yeah, of course, exactly. I don't mind the rules restrictions too much of Space Wolves. I think Space Wolves is probably my favourite way of playing Space Marines. Either Space Wolves or Dark Angels. We also had, we've got a team chat, right? And there's a bunch of guys in the team chat that you guys know, and there's a bunch of guys in the team chat that you guys don't know. And a lot of people picked up Space Wolves very quickly. And at that point, I was like, well, Tom's doing Space Wolves, and he's got a Space Wolf army for the channel. My mate Lee, who's already lent his Space Wolves to the channel, was also prepared to paint the new stuff for the channel. So I was like, well, at that point, there's kind of no point me doing it. We're going to have a painted one for the channel for me to use anyway, because Lee will paint it up, and we have another one because Tom's painting it up. We don't need 3 Space Wolves armies. Despite what Joe will have you think, you don't need 800 Space Marine armies for a channel. You only kind of need a couple. So that's partly why I was like, I'll put them down. Tau is a faction where, because of Paddy's career, they are... Well, hopefully he's going to leave his stuff for us to use, and I think he said he will, which is even better. But because of his career, he can't guarantee being away forever, being around forever. There'll be times when he's away for months on end, and there's nothing we can do about it. So, and I've always wanted a big mech suit army as well, and I like Farsight enclaves, and I can paint red. So red's one of the very few colours I can actually paint quite well. Other colours I'm shit at, but red I'm good at. So
Yeah?
yeah. So that's...
You got any examples?
Hey, yeah. Yeah. You sold the army for me.
Oh, but you sold it because you didn't like the paint job?
No, I sold it because they were becoming old, tired and battered, and up until this fucking edition, you couldn't use them in a way in which I wanted to use them, because they wouldn't let you run a jet bike army for 2 editions straight, and I was like, right, this isn't coming back. And then I got rid of them, and then 10th edition came out, and they went, yeah, you can do it again. That's what happened there, Jay.
Said it was a shit paint job.
Right, so thank you anyway, Nub for the $2. I still love Spaceballs for reference. I still think they're fucking incredible. Thank you, Mandy, for the $20. 3D printers need to be faster and safer before they really become a threat. Agree. Resin is dangerous to work with and prints take too long. Quality will definitely improve over time, but the entry-level printers need to be cheaper. They don't just need to be cheaper as well. So we got sent a 3D printer from a company called Creality. They very kindly sent me a 4K printer and a curing station, all kinds of stuff. This is a long time ago. And I couldn't figure out what to do, really, on my own without Gaz coming and showing me what to do, showing me. And even things, so this is the plate dips, and then it comes back up, and it dips, and it comes back up, and the resin sits in the bottom, and as it dips, it gains size, and it builds it upside down, right? There's probably a name for how that works. I don't know what it is.
Dipping,
chicken dipping. And at the end of it, you either can start another print, or you have to clean it out, and you have to like lift the whole fucking printer and pour the resin. It's fucking horrible to maintain and look after. It's faff and it's a pain in the arse. And after a weekend of mucking about with it, Gaz left it with me. I then never used it again until I saw him, and he was like, do you want me to take it back to my house and use it? I was like, you're welcome to. I'm not going to bother. It's too much effort. So I think you're right about how dangerous the product is to use, and size and speed. I also think usability is really important for these. So the FDM printers that we've got downstairs, they don't create as good sculpts as the resin ones. They're not as clean, obviously, but Toby found them very easy to set up and run. If you can get that level of accessibility with some of these new printers that are like fucking 16K or whatever, that could be dangerous, to be fair. But otherwise, Mandy, I pretty much agree with you. Awful game, Mr. TJ. Thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
Thank you, TJ. I hope that you win a canal boat.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah. I'm going to tile them all with the same brush at the moment, but you know that joke of how do you know if someone's a vegan?
Yeah, because they've told you.
They'll tell you.
Yeah.
I thought the same things with 3D printers.
We used to say about
how do you know if someone owns a 3D printer? They will.
Yeah, we said something about Apache pilots. How do you know Apache pilot? Because he's already told you twice. Anyway, thank you, Ivy, for the $5. They should pivot slightly. Main units can be store-bought, STLs for Forge World equivalents and other low-volume, self-filament and printers in store.
The problem is with selling the filament and the printers in store is Games Workshop will charge a high price for it and people will just buy it somewhere else.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for the $5 over your hero. And thank you, Carl. I also just don't think I don't see a world in which a hybrid model works either, because there'll be too much of a discrepancy. Well, really, unless they're selling the STLs for a price that's not too far off.
And also, like, you got to think, right? Games Workshop sells their own range of airbrush paints because they're kind of like in that market, but they don't sell airbrushes. They don't sell airbrush they don't sell anything to do with airbrushes because they just kind of let them people just get on with it.
There's been people that have been on podcasts who used to work in product development at Games Workshop and stuff, and I can't remember the guy's name, and they've asked them about things like airbrushes. And like, do you know why Games Workshop doesn't sell airbrushes? Can't make any money in it.
Yeah.
There's nowhere near the profit margin that there is in their models, so why bother?
Yeah.
Just let other companies make those products. We can't make as much profit, no point making them.
So I think their mindset is probably in the same place with 3D printers, and 3D printing. They can't make the profit that they're currently making on selling STL, so why bother?
The key to sales is almost always convenience. I mean, the best way to be rich is to monetize someone's laziness. It's just a fact. Thank you anyway, Ivy. Thank you, Carl Moore, Joe, for 20 gifted members.
20 gifted members.
From Carl Moore. Oh my lord. He's currently our highest member of the stream, highest gifter of the stream.
I hope, Carl, that you get a free takeaway every lunchtime for the next week.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Sartan, I almost called you Stefan then, for $10. The hobby is already benefiting from 3D printing. Games Workshop would be catastrophically moronic to not use it for prototyping new models in development. They already do.
They use it to make their test sculpts.
Joe and I, in fact, have been behind the scenes at Warhammer World. They already do. They already use 3D printers for development models.
There was famously a couple models that got released through Forge World, and because of the quality print, the print that they'd done the mold off of wasn't super smooth. That there was literally the 3D print lines in it.
Yeah, they already use it, mate.
They already use it. They just don't sell it. It's like I said. It's like you can either buy a 3D printed model off of someone on the internet in terms of convenience. That someone else is 3D printed and they send it to you, but that person's bought a 3D printer from someone. They bought all the resin from someone else, and then they paid, I don't know, $5 for the file from the company that made it. Or you could buy a Warhammer model off of someone which came from Games Workshop, and I think, or you could go to the Games Workshop shop, or a hobby shop like Hobby House, I think Games Workshop want to keep that model currently.
Yeah.
Because whether you got that Storm Surge from a third-party stockist or direct from Games Workshop,
they still make money on it.
They still make money on it.
Yep, 100%. Thank you, Steak and Cakes, for becoming a Skeleton member. You're a hero. And then thank you, Mandy, again for $10 more. I like my Tesla, but I don't get it for the environment. Can usually go 4 to 5 days of daily driving without charging, but my husband uses it more, so he never forgets to charge it. I think so. Exactly. Like, there's no problem with that. People that say to me, "I have an electric vehicle because it's fucking cheaper for me." Fair enough. And I've seen some mad performance things that you can do. A friend of mine bought a Polestar, I think it is, which is like Volvo's wing of electric fucking SUVs.
I heard that's what Brom is.
And that thing is insane in terms of performance compared to most like normal petrol diesel cars. I'm a big fan of internal combustion. I'm like a slightly younger, more attractive Jeremy Clarkson in that way. I really like internal combustion. I used to work with engines, so I have an affinity for. I like it too much. And I've come in on
Could a normal garage fix a Tesla?
Not normally, no. You normally have to have So even in the motorbike world, there's electric motorcycles now, and a lot of garages are like, does not service electric motorcycles because it's different. It's completely different.
So
how it works.
So in terms of convenience of getting your car serviced and MOT'd, it's a bit.
Maybe right now, but I mean, again, like thinking about even charging vehicles. 10 years ago, very hard to charge a vehicle, and now there's fucking charge points at every superstore car park. So I think it's getting better, to be fair. I've not been against it, so I don't need internal combustion on my car anymore because I've got my motorbike. So I've looked into electric cars in the past, but now they're potentially getting pence per mile charges, and they're getting road tax and what have you.
The government will always find a way to charge you money.
Well, the question was, how are you going to police pence per mile charge?
I got a fucking ULEZ charge.
Did you?
From when I went to Comic-Con, right? And when I did the Comic-Con website, it says, like, you don't need to do ULEZ. Do not worry about ULEZ. At no point do you drive into a ULEZ zone to get to us. And I was like, banging, right? And when I drove there, the sat-nav took me to the front door. Didn't take me to the car park. So I had to do a 15-minute detour to get round. And apparently one of the streets I drove on was a ULEZ street.
Nice.
And I was like, what is the point of having a ULEZ street, low emission street, fucking surrounded by a fucking motorway? I think it's so dumb because like the 4 cars that drive down that road a week that have to pay is not making a difference to the overall emissions of the city that's surrounded by the M25.
Fun fact, right? They don't care about emissions.
They don't care at all. It's just a way of charging you more money.
Right. Exactly.
And when you forget, obviously I didn't check the ULEZ website because didn't think I had to. I got that wonderful £90 fine through the post. I'm like, you absolute cunt.
Yep.
I'm just like,
interesting.
What is this?
I mean, ULEZ has got nothing to do with emissions.
I know.
All. It's to do with how much they can charge you.
It is, and then obviously the parking in that area is insane.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why anyone would ever want to drive in London anymore.
Do you know what's worse than the air quality in central London?
People.
The air quality in the tube of central London.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think it's cars that are the problem.
I used to do a lot of driving in London when I was a van driver, and one of my favourite things, because this is like peak madness right now, so I like to pick my nose afterwards, and like your nose is like black. So you blow your nose after a day in London, and you just fill a tissue up with just dust.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Grim, innit?
yeah,
Fucking horrible.
but I enjoyed it at the same time.
Then we've got 2 sets of gifted from Rossonero, Joe. He gifted 10 and then gifted another 5.
Oh.
He's gifted 15 members. We're on 59 right now, chat. We're 1 away from 60 or 10 away from the magical number. So Rossonero, 2 sets. You can either give him 2 hopes or 1 big one.
I hope that you get a free-range chicken farm to make all the money on eggs.
Oh, well, that's it. Done.
Yeah.
Okay,
done.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. And thank you, Liam and Russ, for the $5. I hope you can get Paul as bad at stuff on your channel for a game. I'm not against that. He seems like a nice chap.
Oh, he's a lovely guy. Lovely guy.
He's at Beechwood, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's local to here.
He's localish to here, yeah. He's not far away.
Yeah, he's not far away. I do think we should get the Glacial Geek on as well.
Yeah, but I mean, he's much further away.
Yeah. He's cool.
Yeah. You said Paul as bad at stuff isn't cool?
No, Paul is bad at stuff is great, but out of the 2, if I wanted to spend an evening spooning with someone, it'd
be Toby.
Yeah.
No?
Glacial Geek. Just, he looks like a great cuddler. He never sat on the same sofa as me, so we always sat in chairs opposite each other.
You know what's good? Well, you know what's better than 1 giant missile pod? 2 giant missile pods?
Oh, Joe kicked Paul's ass in a recent tourney, right? I did beat him. I won't say it's a bit harsh that I kicked his ass, but it was. He did receive a brutal thrashing.
Did he? What did you?
On the end of the Templars.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. Basically,
no quarter given, Joey.
I pulled off a full YOLO charge. Which basically it got to the point where I'd cover, because obviously I played the Raven Guard detachment. The uppy downiness means that you can only come on the sides, ultimately.
Yeah.
So I just went boop, like that, just a big horseshoe shape. I just pinned. So his uppy downy units, if they ever went up, they could only come back in his deployment zone. So just hadn't. It was sad.
You're so cruel. You're such a bully.
What, by using tactics and
just by being a bully, yeah.
By playing the game, yeah.
Bully, just
but he was lovely. He took it well.
Yeah.
Yeah. He received it well.
Took it like the dirty bitch he is. Okay.
My coffee's been sat in front of that bloody aircon unit. It's freezing cold now.
Well, Dan's in, so we can get your fancy coffee in a minute. In the meantime, we can say thank you to Ivy for the $5. I had an EV scooter, full size, 50cc equivalent. All the bike shops refused to work on the front fork seals. People think they'll touch it and detonate. I mean, I'd imagine the front fork seals are probably fine. I can't imagine they're too dissimilar bike to bike. It's all the motor that's the problem, right? Rather than...
I imagine it's probably something to do with if it goes wrong, will an insurance company cover it?
Yeah,
if your business says we don't service electric vehicles and they pump up your tyre and it goes wrong, right? and you sue them, an insurance company says, well, you don't service electric vehicles.
And insurance
And you did it.
companies do look for an excuse to not pay out, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Like, even like insurance companies for vet, oh, we cover your vet problems. And your vet goes in, you go into the, your dog goes into the vets for like, I don't know, to have its leg fixed because it's broke its leg. And it goes, well, you went in there and it had a cold. So, I can't pay it.
I love this model a little bit, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm a bit in love with it. Thank you so much, Nick Sutton, at the end for $2. What loyalist Primark do you think is back next?
I think it's Dawn.
Okay.
I want it to be Dawn, and I think it is Dawn. Like I said earlier, I think the symmetry of the fact that the rumours now are Perturabo, those two being back at the same time makes sense. The alternative is leaving Russ because Magnus is already out.
There is also, and this is a theory I'm going to throw out there, and I would like to see what you think, Jay. And there's no evidence for this apart from...
Is it an alternate sculpt for Girly Man?
No.
Oh.
Addition of fast attack?
Yeah.
Jagati Khan.
Khan would be cool. But he's not...
Because narratively he could return, right? You know.
So the loyalist that can return is the Khan, Korax, Vulcan, Dawn, Lemuros.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
There's 5 that can come back. But like lore-wise, I think at the moment, with Armageddon happening, you've got a rich history of Blood Angels on Armageddon and Black Templars. I'd say the two big boys on Armageddon. Armageddon has also had Space Wolves, Salamanders. It's had every single one. But I think with the hyping of Dawn through the Scouring books and Armageddon, I think it'll be him. I want him to come back as Crusading Dawn.
I would like to see Khan come back because I'd like to see White Scars get some love and there be a viable mounted White Scars army for a change rather than a man with a sword anyway, that's what I'd like to see, but I don't know if it will happen or not. And then finally, thank you, Roskeby, who super chatted twice. Joe, Helbrecht with 10 Sword Bros or 20 Crusaders. Sorry, with Sword Bros or Crusaders. You said that.
I'd like to add a third option. Assault Intercessors. He's peaking them because obviously they give him rerolls and he just gives them.
But if you had to put him in
out of the two, I would go.
I'd go Sword Bros. 10 Sword Bros.
No, Crusaders, because what I discovered running Helbrecht at events in units of Sword Bros, his +1 strength buff on the unit is ultimately it's quite often a negative.
Yeah,
because he puts them to strength 6, and there's so much stuff in the game that's toughness 5 -1 to wound, and the army rule is +1 to wound if your strength is equal to or higher. So anything that's toughness 5 -1 to wound if the strength is higher, you don't get the +1 strength buff, so you wound on 4s. Whereas if you stay at strength 5, you actually wound on 3s. So he is a negative impact on Sword Brethren because Sword Brethren went one to Castellan and a Marshal because the Marshal gives them crits on 5s. If you put him into Crusaders, they go from strength 4 to strength 5, so your +1 to wound still works, but also your Crusaders go from 4 attacks to 5 attacks. And if you put the Castellan in the unit, then they get reroll all hits. And that unit blends.
Do that. Do what he says.
Do that. So yeah, I would go Crusaders.
Do you know what you and Paddy are playing tonight?
I'm taking the Crow Bros.
Crow Bros!
The Crow Bros. And Paddy is undecided. He's like, it's either going to be Thousand Suns or Knights, I think. I tried to push him towards Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
But I said to him, he's in a bit of a like, ooh, I've got no hobby mojo at the moment. So I was like, what are you working on? That's Knights.
Yeah.
But Knights are a bit of a hard balance.
Hamper, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
Yeah. Hamper?
Hamper 92, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. We're at 64 now.
I hope that you get home from work today and you find a Harrods hamper in your living room with a Harrods bear as well.
A Harrods hamper.
Yeah.
Who has a Harrods hamper?
From the shop Harrods.
I went to Harrods years and years ago.
Yeah.
Like 20 years ago, I went to Harrods, and there was a bear on the top floor with diamonds for eyes. That was like 30 grand for a cuddly bear.
Yeah, they're fucking. I remember when I was younger, my mum, from when my sisters are twins, from the year they were born for about 10 years, she bought them a Harrods bear every year for their birthday.
Yeah.
Was it birthday or Christmas?
That's mad.
But obviously, like, not the 100 grand ones now. I imagine they're way too expensive. They probably got them somewhere. They're probably worth a lot of money now.
It was a weird experience because in Harrods there's like a bank. And
like Harrods is insane.
Yeah.
You can have a Harrods. One of my sisters takes my mum like on her, but like every once in a while to Harrods for lunch for tea, and like a Harrods lunch for 2 people is like 300 quid.
Yeah.
Like the sandwiches are like 50 quid each, kind of thing. Like you get like a cake tray, like insane money. It's crazy there. Although apparently there's like rich businessmen having like a full banquet, and their like meals come out to like 2 grand.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
thank you.
Also, Pridders, the Crow Bros are not yellow; they are black.
Thank you, Ivy, for $5 more. EV emissions 20% more to produce, 73% lower in lifetime use. I'm not entirely sure that's factually true. No need to transport fuel. 16% of emissions in the UK are just fuel tankers, no EV slander. No need to transport fuel, but you have to run power stations. Thank you, Just Jupiter, for $5. He says, whoop, whoop, whoop. Do you think Chaos Space Marines Codex 11th will have Be'lakor and a Demon Undivided Detachment? Do you think demons in the Chaos Dexes should have restrictions? So I don't like the way that... I like the concept of what they've tried to do in 10th. I don't like the execution. So the idea of taking the god-specific demons and putting them in the god-specific codexes, I think, is beautiful, and they should do that. The fact that it's like, and you can only take them in this one detachment, and that's the only way they're going to get
dumb.
That's fucking stupid.
That you should be able to take as many demons as you want in your Khorne demons specifically in your welded detachment. You can take as much as you want. They just do not get an army rule or a detachment rule unless you're in the demon specific detachment. But you should still be able to take.
Why can't they get an army? I don't understand why they can't get an army rule. It
is a good army rule, but I think it might be a bit mental when you put them on like the Jugger Pigs, you know?
Yeah, of course.
I think it could be too good because, like, ultimately, the army rule for World Eaters is because of their worship of Khorne, right? And the demon Khorne is giving the army the bonus. So there's no reason why the demons who give the bonus should have it as well, unless they have their own thing, right?
Yeah.
I think, or you just go. You don't roll for it. You just go. You just pick one from the list. But I think the demon detachment is when they should be having all the bonuses.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time they don't, because when you take allied demons in Chaos Space Marines, they don't get an army bonus unless you're in the Be'lakor detachment. I think what I'd like to see is the Chaos Space Marine Codex have Be'lakor and every non-named demon. Right?
Okay.
And then, including the greater demons, but not the named versions.
Okay.
So you don't get access to Skull Taker, you don't get Scarbrand.
Yeah.
And then,
Shalaxi, etc.
Yeah. And then the god-specific codexes should have access to all the demons of that god, including the named ones, and you can take as much as you want in the detachment.
Should they also get the undivided stuff if it still exists? Or no?
No.
Okay, interesting.
I think because the traitor lead, like I think the god-specific books, the 4 god-specific ones, are really aligned down that route.
Yeah.
And I think you take the other ones to be a bit more soupy.
Interesting. Finally, Roskopy gives us 1 more membership, Joe. So we end on 65.
Thank you. 4 shy.
4 shy. Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, no, 25 shy. No, more than that, 35 shy, but you know. Nick, thank you for $2. Think custom Crucible heroes survive into 11th?
Yes.
I think so.
100%. I reckon.
I won't go 100% because it's Games Workshop.
I think that book is going to be viable throughout all 11th edition. I don't think they'll get rid of it. I'd like to see other iterations of it come about.
Yeah, I definitely want it to be viable, and my gut instinct tells me it will be, but like the Custodians conversation, it's Games Workshop.
What I'd like to see is a Crucible of Heroes Bodyguard edition. Right?
Okay.
So, not only can you make a cool character, you can make a bodyguard. So do you remember you used to be able to take, me and Warhips was talking about this, do you remember you used to be able to take veteran intercessors?
Yeah.
Right?
I remember.
Obviously, veteran intercessors are just Stern Guard now. But I think you should be able to take, there should be a list. So for Space Marines, it'll be Terminators, Vanguard Vets, Company Heroes, Blade Guard. And then you should be able to give them an ability as a bodyguard guarding a specific. You can take one per army to balance it, so you don't go nuts. Obviously, you can house rule it with your friends. You can take as many as you want. But why not have like in Hell's Reach, Helbrecht has a command squad with him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have access to that currently.
Yeah.
So why not be able to attach him to a command squad and give them some cool rule?
Like it. I'm in for it.
Yeah.
I think it will survive, but like I say, I won't say it will survive because it's Games Workshop. And much like the Custodians conversation, logic tells me they should allow it in 11th edition with all the stuff that's in the box. Games Workshop do Games Workshop things, and sometimes they make decisions that don't make any sense.
If you've bought the book, what's to stop you from using it in 11th edition?
Well, no, quite.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. At the end, Ivy comes in with another $20. Biggest car. I'm not talking about fucking car emissions the whole time. I've got an opinion. I told you it. Emissions targets don't take production into account. It incentivizes trashing a working petrol car who has paid off its emissions with a new car with shit tech, unreliable, wet belts. Fuck off. Cool. Okay. I am not an EV fan.
I drove a hybrid car we borrowed for a little while. That was nice. It was a nice ride. It was a nice drive, you know, and it charges itself when you just drive around.
Emissions targets not taking production into account is a problem, though, to be fair. I agree with that one. Anywho, I think we're done, Joe. Do you want a fancy coffee?
I want my basic bitch coffee.
Yeah, your pumpkin spice latte. Oh, God. Fucking loves a pumpkin spice latte.
I am going to cut myself off, though, for 9 o'clock tonight. I have not had a shitter night's sleep than I did last Tuesday. Dear God, I woke up at 4 and I went to bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning, had 3 hours awful sleep, and then just was just on off, tossing and turning. And I tried to sleep.
Yeah.
You know.
Right, Five Guys. No, we didn't get 100 members. I can't buy in Five Guys and force it to come.
I mean, you could buy Five Guys, just not force me to pay for it. That's the difference.
Nope, not happening.
You could buy as KFC.
I bought your KFC on Tuesday.
And you can do it today.
I could.
What's to stop you?
Money.
Get Tony to pay.
I'm poor.
Get Tony.
I'm poor till next week. Right, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. If you have enjoyed the show, please make sure you smash that like button before you disappear. If your grey name's in chat and you're not already, think about becoming a member of the channel. It really supports us. It helps pay all the bills. It pays for the studio. It pays for the stuff we're building. It pays for Joe. It pays for all kinds of stuff. It pays Joe's wages and my wages. It keeps us both alive, essentially. So think about becoming a member. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out anyway. For all those people that super chatted, you're amazing. Thank you. And for all those people that have gifted memberships or become members today, thank you as well. You're amazing human beings. I think that covers everything. We've got a live game of 40k tonight between Joe and Paddy. I am on the deck. Joe's running the Ravon Guard. Paddy is not sure what he's going to do yet. Thousand Suns or Knights, he thinks, but who knows?
I think he's waiting for me to put my army list in, and then he can tailor it.
And then seeing what the table looks like. And so that's tonight. And tomorrow night, 7:30, we've got 40k After Dark for you wonderful human beings before we round out the week and start the weekend. I think that's everything. You're all amazing people. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, we'll see you tonight on that live game of 40k. If not, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Have one more time.